Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! Hey folks, welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast. This is episode number 180, and this is going to be our ROCKNPOD 3 recap, and we did a live stream. The Dennis, tell about the theme because I'm dumb and I'm having a senior moment here.
A senior moment? Well, we talked about the movie
yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. I had to think about it too.
We're all having senior moments.
We just got off work. We're doing this right after work.
We just got off work and we're still recovering.
I just got out of the car, walked upstairs, and got on the computer. So that's, I'm still, my brain's not quite out of work mode.
That is
but
awesome.
Yeah, we talked about yesterday, and just listen to the show. It's a good interview. Plus, we talked.
It's not an interview; it's a discussion.
No, discussion, and we did a little. The people there, we kind of talked about our show a little bit and everything. It was fun. You'll hopefully it sounded. Have you listened to any of it?
It sounds great. Yeah.
Good.
Awesome. The guy that recorded it is a professional sound guy.
Gotcha.
And he has a good grasp on his recording software. So
cool. All right,
so the theory behind it was, though, the three of us were on a stage, and there were people that were sitting down, and there were people that had come in and kind of watched us do our thing.
Right.
The weird thing about it was, because there's no video to it, the weird thing about it was the three of us have only one other time sat next to each other to have a conversation, which was weird because we couldn't see the reaction of the others, and every week we see the reaction and facial expressions. It was like I kept sitting there. I was in the middle. I'm like, I don't know what they're looking like. It was weird. It was bizarre because you kind of play off people's facial expressions and stuff like that. When you can't see them, it's like I don't know what the hell's going on.
Did you think that was funny, or did he take offense? Or,
Yeah, I didn't know. It was
next year I'll tell the guy to put have us at like a half circle table or something.
Yeah, that'd be better.
There you go.
We have a request.
But it was fun. It was entertaining, and we were the first ones in the morning, so it was just getting started and everything. So we didn't have a whole lot of people in there.
I was going to say we would really like to thank Sonny Pooney and Stephen Michael for being our audience.
Yeah, exactly. There was a couple.
And then Chris came in and his brother.
Chris nice. And Eric Sinzak.
Yep.
I don't know if y'all can hear it in the background, but somebody must be walking down the street because two of the dogs are losing their minds.
They are losing their shit for sure.
Right. That's the pooches of rock.
So yeah, there you go. So I don't know about you guys. I had a great time. I mean, it was the venue I thought was really good, much better this year.
Yes. The best podcast expo yet.
Yep, I would think so. I agree.
I liked it being all under one roof. The concert, the pre-concert, the thing there. You had your room right there. If you had to go up and do something, you could do that. You had a restaurant there. We had a bar there. We had everything was contained. We did go out for dinner on Saturday night, but other than that, we were there at the complex all weekend. So
not everything was under one stage. I have to give my wife a shout out because. My dumb ass forgot my belt and the pair of shorts that I wore on Saturday, or it was Friday when we got there. I couldn't keep them up. I had to walk around holding my pants up. So she had to go to 2 different Walmarts. So by the time she got back, she was not in the greatest of moods. So I got to see the darker side of Her Highness. Not the back side, the dark side.
The dark side. Gotcha.
We got that.
But no, Chris did. He outdid himself, and it was a very well. I mean, they're always well organized, but it was everything was spot on. We didn't. At the time when we were supposed to have these people, he had all this stuff. He had schedules out for all the people that were doing interviews, and it went like clockwork. It was really cool, and like I said, it was just. A well-oiled machine.
Yeah, cool. I thought this year everything was streamlined really well. The live podcast in that side room, The sound guy did a very good job of telling them it's your start time, it's your stop time. So none of that got behind. None of the events on stage got behind. All of the guests got around to all of their tables pretty smoothly. So, yeah, I mean, all in all, Chris, that's a grand slam, brother.
Yeah, even the little stuff, like even the little table cards with the podcast name on them, on the table tents, that was really cool. I mean, when you came in, you could kind of find people, and then you kind of knew what people were around. I thought it was really good. And then, of course, seeing everybody was awesome. I mean, that's the best part is being able to hang out and, that's the fun part. And I really enjoyed it. I was wore out by the end of the night.
I was too.
But yeah,
I mean, it's become now, with these guys, we talk all the time and text back and forth and stuff, but we only get to see each other, usually once a year, maybe twice if there's another expo going on someplace like a Kiss Indie or something like that. But not everybody gets in the same room. And these people have become, not only friends, but family. And this year was zero drama. There was a lot.
Yeah,
actually.
I was going to mention that,
very good.
For all of the Facebook politics and drama that goes on for the year, not one political comment I heard. Nobody's threatening to beat up another podcast or anything stupid like that.
And actually,
I bet you that they don't have a Sweet 16 podcast bracket again this year.
Well, too, though, I listened to a couple other podcasts that were talking about the expo, and actually some of the people that were involved in all that drama last year mentioned on their shows that they did talk to the people involved, and there was a lot of apologizing and making up and water under the bridge, and it was everybody's now kumbaya.
That's also one good thing about these get-togethers is you see a face-to-face apology, you can see the sincerity or the insincerity. Yeah, that other word. I mean, you can tell if someone's being sincere or not.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that's what you meant.
Things like that, you can't never tell what they're texting. Sorry, but they're going like this way at the phones and they're doing it. So, but anyway, no, it was great, and like I said, we did that fun. I was glad too. Sonny put together at the end of the Saturday night. They did this Kiss draft thing, and they're actually, and I didn't know it was being recorded. So when this comes out on their, I don't know, is it going to be on the
podcast Rock City?
Podcast Rock City. And
it's going to be hilarious.
Comes out, I can't wait. It was about an hour's worth of us just basically busting balls and picking Kiss songs, and it was, dude, I never laughed so hard in my life. It was a blast, and it was fun.
I feel sorry for that one young kid. He was getting hammered hard. He was, I don't know who that was, but it was.
Well, I kind of felt bad because we had just gotten back from dinner, and Laura and I were actually getting ready to head up to the hotel room and call it a night, and then everybody dragged us down there, and I thought, man, she is going to just eat me alive.
Right.
But when we got back to the room, I'm like, I am sorry you had to sit through that. She's like, that was some of the funniest shit I have ever seen. So that kind of worked out. I'm glad y'all dragged me down there.
Yeah, and Stephen Wright he doesn't know the rules. He's a rule breaking fool, that dude.
Like he said, his job is.
Actually, somebody else broke some rules too, didn't they, Dennis? Didn't you have a little problem too? You and Peter?
We didn't. No, we didn't break one.
I thought you had. I thought you picked two off the same record too.
No, we didn't do that. We actually we picked ones that were already picked. But
everybody had that problem at one point or another.
Yeah, too. I couldn't swipe them off fast enough. When
it was going quick. It was going real quick.
Well, and when you're naming off a Kiss song, you got to think, okay, what record is that on? And by the time you flip it to the right thing, it's like you're already two people down. You're done.
Well, every time I tore ours apart so I could see them better, and every time they'd call a name, Joe had picked up a piece of paper. So I'm like, I can't mark it off if I don't. You got the wrong paper. Give me that.
Well, I got there late, so I had to buddy up with somebody. So I got with Peter Ciceri, and
Peter Ciceri.
No, it's
I'm just messing with you.
I was going to say, I did get it right this time, actually. Damn, I spent the whole weekend talking to him. I should have got it right. But no, what was funny was, in the time you're trying to mark this shit off and get everything straight, we're also discussing which is going to be our next pick, and so we're trying to do this, trying to do that.
Trying to pay attention. Yeah,
yeah,
it was
hectic
hard.
as hell, but it was fun. No, it was a good idea and a good time. And so yeah, other than that, and then
The
Bill and
All-Star
I
Jam
picked
was
up
pretty good.
Yeah, the All-Star Jam was fun. I wish we could have
Yeah.
played on the big stage, but I know that was not.
Well,
possible.
I'm going to have a talk with Chris about that next year. We should do the All-Star Jam in the middle of the day.
Yeah, that would be
That would be fun.
Yeah.
And,
It is.
I had Bill record all of the ones that you and I were in.
Right.
So we got 5 videos that I got posted, and
Cool.
for the most part, they got some pretty good comments. But one guy had to make a disparaging comment, and props to Julian Gill for kind of giving him a smackdown. No rehearsal, no sound check. Get on stage, no ego, go. That's all
Right.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't be nice about it, then just shut your pie hole.
It's the internet. What do you expect?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So
But
what-
No,
what-
it was
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I said, but Bill and I, we did get some vinyl.
That's what
Well,
I was getting ready to ask.
Yes,
I did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
All right, well, I got my Striper record signed, so I was pretty happy about that. You can't see it because I got
Did
the
you buy
plastic.
that down there, or did you bring?
No, I took it with me.
Okay, cool.
I did see. So yeah, I can't read it. I think it says, "Bill, God bless Michael Sweet." I think that's what it says. It's really hard to read, and you can't.
You're too close to the
read it all.
screen. All we can see is a
Yeah.
big
Well,
S.
and if you hold it back too far, then the sun is shining and you can't see anything.
That's
so I don't
cool.
know.
There you go.
But I get that signed. I got Bullet Boys record, the debut record, which is in steel sealed, brand new.
Wow, that's cool.
About that. I got Motley Crue.
Awesome.
Yep. Shout at the Devil. I'd been looking for that, so I got that. Bad Company, 10 from 6, one of my favorite bands.
Ooh, that's
And
good.
I have this, but it looks like I thought it looked pretty good when I bought it, but apparently I didn't actually look at it because it's horrible.
Cheesy
So I
grater.
actually now have it. Yeah, I actually now have a copy that I can use, and I bought Amy Winehouse. I love Amy Winehouse.
That's cool.
I've way too soon. Died way too soon. She's part of that 27 club,
Right.
And
right.
this is called Amy Winehouse Hidden Treasures. This is newer record, obviously, because Amy's not that old, but it's really good. I like her a lot. I just that whole groove, and it's kind of got that bluesy thing, and it's really good stuff. But I listened to this the other day.
That's
That was dinner. That was dinner music. I told Lisa, I said, "Let's see, we can have Bad Company, Motley Crue, Bullet Boys, Striper, or Amy Winehouse." And she just looked at me. I'm like,
Well, if
okay,
you're
well, I'm
thinking of
gonna pick
food,
Amy Winehouse.
I would have went with Motley Crue because Vince likes food.
She said of the record of the metal stuff, she would have picked Motley Crue out of that. So we didn't.
Well, she has decent taste then.
There you go.
Well, yes, it was really the lesser of two evils. Let's be real.
Exactly. All right, so I picked
Wasn't
up
really
a
a
couple
first option.
or a few here. I picked up Def Leppard Pyromania. I've been wanting that for a long time, and then I found that right at the very end. I got Crocus Headhunter, which has got some great tunes on it. Now these are the ones that I got from Jason. This is the Who live at the Isle of Wight. This is actually 3 records, and it's in red, white, and blue
Oh, wow.
vinyl.
Really?
It's like say here's let me just kind of.
That's very cool, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
excited. You can tell. I just
No
yawned.
yawning on the show.
Sorry, I'm just
I
exhausted.
mean, here's the red vinyl. But anyway,
That's
I think
cool.
it's kind of cool. A lot of great songs on here. An album that I've been looking for forever. Finally got it Fastway, and it's in real cool shape.
It's awfully slow to get that fast way.
I know, but I know the slow way to the fast way. Got one of my favorite Van Halen albums. I'm almost getting complete. I need Van Halen 1 and 2, and I think I'm done at that
Oh,
point.
I see those
But,
all the time.
Oh, I see you
wanna-
like that pre-Sammy Van Halen.
Exactly. Yeah. No. But anyway, I love Fair Warning. It's a great album. And then I spent a little bit more than I should have, and I already have a copy of it, but I'm going to still have it checked out. Jason sold me a copy of a Japanese pressing of Dream Police. And he says once you hear the Japanese pressing,
you
you're
never
like,
want to listen to anything else.
Exactly. But so I have a regular copy here at home. It's not real good shape, but I'm going to A/B it. I'm going to check it out and see how much difference there is in it. So that's what I got. It's been a good little chunk there. Also, did pick up another DVD or CD. That guy came to our table, Steve Barnett, from Pump 5. Never heard of these guys. He came down and he's going to be one of the guys that Bill talked to. And he was a really cool guy. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not really a record.
God damn it, Bill! You bastard! You stole my joke. What a dick!
I had no idea you were gonna. I didn't.
I told you at the expo I was gonna do this. Anyway, seriously, I've got this record size sheet of paper, advertising for the Kiss My Ass, and I wanted to give a shout out to JTB's Groovy Record Room for this nice gift. I will be buying one of those display things and hanging it on the wall.
That's cool.
But you're still a dick, Bill.
Though, like I said, he was a really cool dude. I liked his when he was talking to Bill. He was cutting up, and he's got this kind of raspy voice and stuff. And I'd never heard of these guys, but when I was listening to him talk to Bill on the interview, I was like, I bet he's got a kick-ass voice. Well, anyway, so I pulled this thing up, and I didn't really listen to him talk what he was saying. I just heard his voice. So I didn't know really nothing about these guys. He gave me one and gave Bill one. Alan wasn't there at the time. And then anyway, but this is on Spotify, so if you get to check out, it's called Pump 5 Full Service. But anyway, so I put it in my car the next day, and I'm driving. I'm like going, God damn, I like this. And I'm like going, man, it sounds like kind of like a Blink 182, and then it's got a little bit of Marvelous 3, some of the guitar work and the way and the chords are and everything. And so then I talked to Bill, and he said that's exactly what he said it was when you mentioned what type of music is this, and he said it's kind of a mix between Blink 182 and rock or whatever. Got through the whole out. There was one song, number 3, Riverside, that I had to skip. It was a ballad right off the bat, third song on the album, and just couldn't really get into it. Every other song, listened to them all the way through. I've had it in my car now for 3 days. I listen to it every day on the way to work and on the way back, and still don't hate Riverside as much as I did, but I still can't get through it. It's just one of those songs. But everything else on the album just fucking rocks. So check these guys out. And
cool.
Anyway, it was a great freebie, and hopefully maybe sometime down the road we can get him back on, do a full interview with him because he didn't sit for very long.
He came from Southern California.
Yeah,
he came from far, far, far away.
Yeah, he was
really pretty interesting.
Cool.
So, let's see, who do we have on? We interviewed some folks. We interviewed, let's see, who did we interview? We interviewed Roxy Blue, if you guys remember those guys from the 80s. Kato, which is a new band they're out of Australia.
And
but now
speaking of that, Bill, I want to give you props for all of the names that you've gotten wrong. You nailed their name, and I heard them like, hey, you got it right!
I would have said Kato. I mean, I would have just normally said Kato. It's Kaato, but it's Kato. Domo arigato, Kato kind of thing.
It was just dumb luck, just so we're all clear.
Hey,
there were some really,
a broken clock is 70s. Right twice a day.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, they were kind of a 70s kind of throwback, kind of glammy, kind of punky, glammy kind of thing. But what's really cool is Christopher Williams, our friend of the show and been on here many times, he is their drummer. And then I watched the video yesterday for their new song that came out, and actually Jeremy Asbrock was playing in the video too. So I don't know if he's a normal, everyday person that plays with them, or he just did it for the video. I don't know, but
I don't think he plays with them all the time.
Oh, just check out that video. It's the latest one. But I was like, oh, there's Jeremy.
And I said, I think he played with the Rock and Roll Residency that night that we saw him. He only did like one song, but I remember him being up. I've seen him before on a stage. That'd be the only place we would have seen him.
That would have been the only place, yeah.
So Steve Barnett, and then we coming up pretty soon. We let Jeremy, Phil, and Ryan do their own interview.
Well, that's already been released.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the very first one I released.
Yeah.
Bill pays attention, people.
No, I there's just been so much going on.
Right.
So if you haven't listened to that or listened to that yet, you got to listen to it because it's funny. We turned those guys loose and they did a pretty good job interviewing themselves. I don't know if it was funny as E.T. and
Christopher
Williams last
You know,
year.
we should
But it
do
was
a
pretty darn
poll
funny.
and put those videos up together and have the audience decide which is funnier.
It could have vote.
That's right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they actually tried to interview each other though, and it was kind of neat. I mean,
So by the time this video is or this episode is out, I will have released the Rock and Roll Residency, my interview with Gene Simmons impersonator Robert Bentley, and I put Rick Rule and Ziggy Goldsby on a interview together because Ziggy's the guy that was handling Rick or getting him from interview to interview. But Ziggy is also involved with American Outlaw Guitar, so I talked to him for 3 or 4 minutes about that.
Oh, that's cool.
cool.
So, yeah.
That's
As a
cool.
matter of fact, as the time that we're recording this, that went live about 15 minutes ago.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, just
So then we
real
had
quick,
Michael
just-
Sweet and who did you interview?
I
Alan?
interviewed
What was that guy's name?
Tom Hazart and some bass player from some metal band, Mega Dave or David Ellison.
Cool.
and then his singer, and that blonde haired guy.
Well,
that
I
you
said his
saw
singer's
out in the
name
lobby.
first.
Right. Okay, that's right. But the guy who was out in the lobby, remember the big blonde haired dude, and we're like with the silver shoes. I'm like, man, I wonder who he is. He was David Ellison's. That's their guitar player for that band.
Is that
new
guy with
band
that
that's got-
long blonde hair?
Yeah, kind of looked like a real healthy.
Vince Neil?
No, the guy from damn it, Poison. CC DeVille.
Oh.
Like a healthy CC DeVille.
Do you know what that guy's name was?
I have no idea.
You said he played guitar for Dave Ellison or David Ellison.
The only reason I know this because I saw a video. Somebody posted a video of them playing that night at that Rare Hair thing, and whenever they were up there playing with that other guy, his singer, that guy was on stage. So I just kind of figured and they were all outside later. Somebody was interviewing them out in the lobby that night. So I had a few beers in me, so I was a little fuzzy,
Gee, go figure.
A lot of people had a lot of beers in them that night.
It's true.
It was fun.
That's
Anyway.
true.
Oh, I want to give one more shout out to Julian Gill because he's got one of those Got Milk Kiss posters where they had the chocolate milk on, and he gave me that poster.
Cool.
So shout out to Julian for that. That's going to be hanging on the wall beside my Kiss My Ass Pretend record.
Cool.
Sorry I ruined that for you.
Oh, that's all right.
But no, like I said, it was fun, had my all, and it was a really good time. I hope that we have another one next year. I'm sure they will at some.
Well, I've already heard Scuttlebutt Rockin' Pod 4 is in the planning stages, so there's that.
Good.
Cool.
But it was a real good time, and I, you know what? And a shout out to Sonny Pooney again. And if you haven't seen this on Facebook, he had talked to this kid earlier in the day, and he was he played in a band or playing bass or something, and they were talking to him, and they listened to the show and everything, or their show, and they went up to get into the raffle because he wanted to get this guitar, and they got up to the raffle, and it was right before they were doing it. It was just too late for them to it said it had been too much trouble to put another ticket in. So I don't know about that, but anyway, so Sonny ends up winning the guitar, this Kramer. I don't know which one model it was, but a nice Kramer guitar. And he goes up and picks it up, and he walks by the kid and hands it to him. Says, "Here, this is yours." Now, you know what?
That is very classy.
Is. He goes, "Look, I don't play guitar." He goes, my son's got 10 guitars. He says, "Here." I mean, that's just absolute class. So, props to you, Sonny. That's cool.
Damn it looks like Dennis is getting a tear in his eye.
Yes,
No.
Let's be honest.
No, it is. It's sweet though. I mean, that's a really cool thing to do.
What I heard was that Sonny bought a bunch of those raffle tickets and he gave them away.
Really?
And the only one he kept was that
the one
ticket.
that
was the one that won.
That he probably didn't want to have to take it on the plane. He's like,
He didn't want to mess with it.
I can understand that.
He did it to give them. He did it for the for the money. So,
but no, and like I said, and the thing was you know what? I never even knew anything about it until it was somebody. Actually, the dad of that kid posted it on the thing on his blog. But, Sonny didn't go around and say, "Hey, look what I did." Look, he just did it and didn't even bat an eye. And then we did that thing later on that night. So, but no, props out to the guy. He's got a heart of gold.
Class act.
Yes,
for sure.
So I'm looking forward to another year of it.
Yep.
In a year or so.
How many days we got?
363.
That'd be awesome.
There you go. Not that we're counting down. We have to get a countdown clock on something.
Yeah, no shit. To the next
as soon as we get the dates. Sounds good.
Well,
that was a good time. I'm glad we went. Do it again tomorrow.
Do it again tomorrow, yes. I told Lee McCormack, shout out to Lee McCormack for organizing the Podcaster Jam, because that was probably the smoothest that has ever gone.
It actually was very smooth.
And I told Lee, I said, I'm so excited about that. I've already got my song picked out next year. I'm going to play bass and sing a song. So
there you go.
it's going to be the same song now. I'm not going to do two different ones or nothing like that.
I had texted Ralph and I mentioned, I said, man, and Ian, I said, hey, we kicked that song. When we did You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. And we had talked before about, that was a cool song. I said, my favorite song is actually Under the Blade. So I told him yesterday, I said, next year we're doing Under the Blade.
Get your request in early.
Exactly.
There you go.
But anyway, it's all fun by all. So congratulations, Chris, on another successful Rockin' Pod and all the people that you had. Was it Tracy was one of them? Yeah,
I wouldn't even start to try to even get those names.
Anyway, all the people involved. Yeah. Well, everybody that was involved with that did just one hell of a job, and it was
for sure.
For sure.
All right, y'all got anything else?
Nothing.
All right, then. Y'all enjoy this week's episode.
We are here at the Rockin' Pod Expo 3 in Nashville, Tennessee, hanging out at the Marriott Airport. So we're going to be hanging out here today, and we're going to do this is a live thing, so we're a live recording.
Right.
Which, aren't they all live recordings?
We're not, but we're never in the same room except for one time, though.
Oh, okay.
This is the second time we've actually been in the same room because we all
true.
do it via Skype, and we're all in different towns. So that's the way we roll.
It's kind of cool. We don't get together very often.
No, we don't.
Because our wives won't let us.
We get in
the three amigos or the something like that.
Yeah, three drunk guys in a bar,
Exactly.
which is never good.
Three drunk guys in a bar talking shit.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you don't know about our podcast, we are it's always been it's really about three guys in a bar having a conversation and just chilling and having some fun, and usually it goes off the rails, and we do not do any editing. So if this is your first listen, you'll know that you will pick up on that pretty quickly, and
Exactly.
and that's the best part. So what's our topic? We had a topic for today, right?
Well, we did.
Well, we still do.
We have a topic, we just don't know how well it's going to work.
We do. No, we do. But you need to mention also that we've been around since 2015. Our show came out. The first time was October 29th.
October 29th, 2015 was episode 1, and this past Thursday we released episode 179.
Wow.
Awesome.
So this is actually going to be episode 180, assuming that we don't screw the recording up.
Exactly.
Yeah, we would never do that. This is kind of weird because what you guys don't know that are watching this is we are sitting in a row next to each other as opposed to watching each other on video, which is kind of really weird.
Yeah.
So
because we can't see each other make stupid faces like normal.
Right. But we can actually punch Dennis, which actually
I can touch you.
Actually punch him if we wanted to, which would be really kind of cool.
There you go. And you don't have to text me when you want to tell me something. You just
Shut up, Dennis. Shut up, Dennis. Shut up, Dennis.
Wrap it.
Just kick me. Just kick me. But anyway, we are having a good time here at the Rockin' Pod, and we're excited to be here. And Chris did a really good job putting this together.
Yeah. This is between us and interviewing Michael Sweet.
Exactly.
So
that's sweet.
We need a wrap.
Pretty sweet, yeah.
That's a pretty sweet deal. Come on in.
Come on in.
Yeah, come on in.
We don't bite.
At least
we bite each other, but we don't bite.
But we don't bite hard.
We don't bite other people.
So, like you said, people that are going to be listening to this, we are actually doing this live at the Rockin' Pod. So we have people walking in and out and just kind of
mostly out.
When they get up and leave, we're just gonna. when they get up and leave, we'll just go. Okay, we have totally just screwed this over.
Exactly. But we do have a lot of good interviews coming up the rest of the day, which will be put out on our show at some point here in the near future.
Thursday.
Yeah, and we usually talk about vinyl. So I know which is Alan's favorite topic. right?
But we will. Well, actually, we have already talked about vinyl by the time you're hearing this on our show.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. That's
true.
But we did. We Dennis and I have bought vinyl at the show, which
I'm up to my earballs and
The closest that I came to vinyl was I got to hold an Originals 2 with all of the stuff in it.
oh,
that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
so.
pretty cool.
And when I saw the 250.00, I gently put it back down.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So I bought
our-
some stuff from JTV, and then
JTP.
I took it up to my room, and I told my wife, I said, well, okay, I'm done for the day, and then came back and bought 2 more. Now I'm really done.
I
So.
bought 2 last night and 2 today, so that's 4. Look, I'm a
Bill's
math
good.
whiz right there.
Bill's
See that?
good at math.
There you go.
So yeah, so I might be done too because I got to kind of control that crap. So,
Exactly.
yeah, you got
All
kids in
right.
college you got to pay for.
Oh, the
no,
growing
here
up
comes
rock
trouble.
guys. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
There we go.
That's awesome. There we go.
All right. Well, now that they're here, here comes Sonny. We're in trouble.
Oh, right up front. Yeah.
Sonny wants to hear my in-depth review of Harry
Nilsson.
Nilsson's back catalog.
Yeah. And this is why I'll take a nap right now.
Wake me up when it's over, please.
Oh, so you have a question?
Yes.
How do you start a podcast?
You hit the record button.
Hit the record button.
You find a technical guy that does all the
Alan.
work.
Well, first you become a fan of Kiss, and then you join the Kiss Army mailing list, and then you realize that you guys live in the same town, and then you go to a Judas Priest concert and then discuss about, hey, we want to do a podcast, but we don't know what we're doing.
And then a year goes by.
And I'm like, where's your fucking podcast?
We don't have any way to do this podcast
Because
you're
we
gonna
don't
have to
know
help
what
us.
we're doing.
So there you go. All right.
So anyway.
That's how you start a podcast.
Do y'all have a subject you're going to be covering today?
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
Yes.
we do actually.
As a matter of fact.
There you go.
Actually, we do.
So anyway, there
But
was
we're not covering today. We're covering yesterday.
yeah, exactly. There you go.
Oh, what a segue.
There you go.
So there was a movie that just came out recently that I went and seen, and I think I saw it first, and then I think Alan saw it. And
I have not
Bill-
seen
Oh,
yesterday's
you haven't
yet.
seen it yet?
I have
Okay.
not.
Well, anyway.
Is it yesterday or yesterday's?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Which-
no S.
When it first came out, I was like, I thought, man, I was intrigued. I thought this is a really interesting deal. So anyway, it's a movie basically about this man who is a kind of just acoustic player, and he writes his own songs and just never goes anywhere, plays these parties, and finally he just gives up. And on the way home, the power goes out throughout the world for, 12 seconds? And then he gets hit by a bus, and he wakes up, and his friends, after he gets out of the hospital, they give him a new acoustic guitar, and it's like, play us something. So he plays a Beatles tune. And they're all like, that's the greatest song we've ever heard. Well, come to find out, the Beatles never existed. And I think they did a real good, since Alan hasn't seen it, I'm not going
Oh, don't worry about it. Just go ahead.
to give up the thing. Have how they work
Just
that
go ahead
out.
and ruin it for him. It's fine. It's perfectly fine.
I don't care.
But anyway, the whole point we were talking about today is, what if we were that guy, and we woke up? What band would you want have never existed?
Wait a minute. What band would we have never wanted to exist?
Well, you would say
What band would you be the band that never existed?
Exactly.
The only band that you know.
right.
Okay. It changes
Yes.
things because otherwise.
And I did a lot
list
of
about
in-depth thinking
15
about
bands I
this
wish
because if
never
you really get into it, there's a lot of stuff that can't happen. Certain people you can't use for reasons I'll explain.
Why can't you use somebody? It's our.
Well, see, Dennis is making all these rules that we're just going to break
This shit
anyway.
happens all the time. This shit
All right.
happens all the time.
Alan, who would you become?
I would become either Angus Young or Cliff Williams because AC/DC is one of the world's most popular bands. They always draw a huge crowd,
Right.
and they're world famous.
So you would want AC/DC to have never existed. And
Correct.
there you go.
But I would be either Cliff Williams or Angus Young because they're still in the band today.
Well, I didn't go that far. I just went the band. You're going to come up with all these tunes.
Well, when you started there's this, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, since Bon Scott is no longer with us,
Right.
Pick one of the guys that's still there.
I got you.
It's a good. Yeah, I got a little. So what? What's the first tune you'd put out?
Dirty Deeds.
Cool. Why that?
Because I love that song.
Because our band, the
Hello.
Hounds, plays it.
Oh, because every band you're in plays it.
No.
No, okay. Is the new band you're in playing it?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
For now.
And he's singing it too.
But does Harry Nilsson play that?
Sonny is in the audience, and he says, "Fuck that guy." And he was speaking about me, not Harry.
I think he was talking about both.
That's a good pick though, because you've got a lot of tunes to use, a large catalog.
They have a very large catalog. And, the thing is with AC/DC, it's like your grandmother's meatloaf. Every time she makes it, you know what you're getting. Right. And with AC/DC, every time they put out a new album, you know what you're getting. Right. They don't try to change the formula to chase trends. Right. This is what we're putting out. If you like it, listen to it. If you don't like it, fuck off.
Yeah. And it's always been that way. I mean, that's
right.
That's really pretty cool. Some bands try to do that and they try to change with the times, and it doesn't work.
Well, they got a recipe
Sometimes it
that
doesn't
works.
work. And if you got a recipe, don't mess it up.
Right.
Yeah. Don't throw any.
And I did steal the recipe idea from an interview I saw with Angus Young, and that's exactly what he said. People like our recipe. Why would we change it?
Yeah. I mean, if you can't hear an AC/DC drum beat on the first 5 notes and know it's them, you're
dumb.
That's a pretty sad day, for sure. And there's a few bands like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
A Van Halen. You could hear a Van Halen song at the first couple of beats. It's pretty much a Van Halen song.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Bill.
Yes. Oh, okay. I got to pick. I've been thinking about this, and even earlier today talked about, is this really what we're going to do? I'm like, really?
We're prepared.
That's okay. Yeah. Well, we never prepare, or we do some prepare.
Yeah, exactly.
And it may just be the height of what's going on right now. I don't know if I would want to be Freddie Mercury, but Queen to me is a band that just, I really enjoy them, and I enjoy them because of just the breadth of work that they do. So,
right.
Unlike AC/DC, who it's kind of a rote situation, Queen is the opposite of that, and you never know what you're going to get. And it's a very different slice of the pie every time.
Right.
And I don't know, it's just the popularity of what's going on right now with the Bohemian Rhapsody movie and stuff like that. But looking back, there is some just amazing work that came out of that. And every player in the band, every player in that band, all 4 of them, had just put out some phenomenal stuff, and they all wrote. They all contributed to the band, the music,
right.
And to the writing. And I think that's really what makes a really good band. We get, and I just think that adds to it. I think some bands get stuck. Even great bands. I mean, our favorite great band. You start self-producing yourself, and you lose yourself. You don't stretch. You don't grow.
You don't have a guy there.
It gets
going,
boring.
It sucks. Why don't you try this?
Yeah. You don't have somebody standing in your face going, that looks like dog shit or sounds like dog shit. So keep moving. But I think Queen's always every record of theirs seems to have progressed, gotten better, gotten different. And I think that's something that in today's world with the music the way it is, I think that would be really cool to suddenly start hearing stuff like that. The challenge for all of us, I think, and even the Yesterday movie is. How and I saw the movie, but I don't remember exactly how it happened. But how do those people get discovered these days? Because you're all lost in this quagmire of pop and all that other kind of stuff.
So and the movie kind of did that because he first started playing those songs, and people were like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then somebody. Yeah.
But it took Ed Sheeran.
Oh yeah.
Heard him, liked him, brought him out. Of course, one of the funniest things in the movie was where he takes him to Russia for this first concert, and he writes back in the USSR on the plane. He goes, "How did you write that so quick?" It's just fucking awesome.
So going back to your pick, what would be your first song?
Oh man, what would be my first song?
And see, Queen's a good band to pick because they did have some huge hits.
Actually, one of my favorite Queen songs is
Kiss.
I'm gonna say Kiss. One of my favorite Queen songs is "Tie Your Mother Down." I just think
song.
it's a badass song, and it's edgy, and that would be one. And I think that would be grab people and be like, "What
Good
the hell
show
is
starter.
going on?" I mean, you're talking about tie your mother down. What's up with that?
You no shit.
Yeah, exactly. Hashtag tie your mother down.
Exactly.
But that's I would release that for sure as a first. I think Bohemian Rhapsody, it has to come a little bit later because you got to build that thing because that's just once you get there, after that it's not bad stuff, but man, it just changed the game.
Right.
No, I think the next record was The Game. That's like, got that. Boom.
which we're playing a song off that album too, Dragon Attack.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so it's
yeah.
good.
Some great stuff on there.
But anyway, that's awesome.
So what was yours, Dennis?
So I went back and forth. Of course, you know how I do every show and everything. I get really start thinking, and I should just shut up and just pick something and go. But it's fluid and it's changed a lot. But right now, I would say the Eagles.
Wow.
Now, here's my reason. I mean,
Now, I will honestly say that
Right.
truly surprises me.
and the only reason I do say that is look at the hits. Look at the amount of work that they had. You know, the greatest hits album was what on the top 100 for what? How many years? I mean, it was the biggest largest selling album.
I believe it was like almost 40 years, or maybe a little more than 40.
So you've got a plethora of material that you can use, and you can actually change. You know, if you wanted to rock it up a little bit more, you could do stuff. You know, the Eagles was a kind of just one of those things like, well, there's a cash cow basically, and it's been proven to because there was other people that I was thinking about. You know, some other ones, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But that's what I would do, and probably, you know, would you do Hotel California first? Probably.
No.
No, I wouldn't do Hotel.
I would do something off of one of their first albums.
Right.
I mean, they come out at the gate with
Right. There's just so many songs. I mean, I would have to really sit down and think. I never got into that. I've never thought about that question, what I would release first. But like I said, there's just so many. And you can cross over because they had rock kind of, you know, type songs.
Yeah,
They had
early
country.
early Eagles is very country.
Yeah, very
Oh,
country.
yeah.
So that was my pick. Now, did you guys have any other ones you were thinking about?
Wait a minute. So, but you didn't pick what? So, what song would you release first?
Honestly, I don't know. I would have to.
Well,
Really,
you gotta-
I
you
never
gotta
thought
pick.
about.
That's the rule.
I don't know.
It's your rule, damn it.
No, I didn't come up with that question. I don't know. Take It Easy, maybe.
That'd be a good one.
And I was
Yeah.
just sitting there thinking, I think I would start with Take It Easy. And to your point,
Right.
that crossover ability, because everything
Yeah.
right now nowadays is crossing over.
Right. You don't want to do like songs like "Victim of Love." You know, "Last
That's a
Maids in
terrible
Row.
song. It's almost as bad as that Harry Nilsson song.
Wow.
No, I just bought a brand new copy of Hotel California. And that album-
It's not really.
I don't know.
But anyway, yeah, that's what I would probably do. Something like some crossover kind of safe song, but it's proven itself as a good song. So.
Well, and that band had some phenomenal writers.
Oh yeah,
It's just ridiculous.
that's the key to this whole situation. And one of the ones I was going to say, if you would have said something, brought this one up, you know, I thought somebody would say like, I want to Elvis. I want to do all the Elvis songs.
That was my second pick.
But you know why? You can't use that.
He didn't write most of his songs.
Elvis never wrote one song in his lifetime.
Was that a rule?
Ever? I went down to Graceland. When you go through the one building that has all the gold records and gold tapes and all that stuff like that, as you're walking out, there's a plaque on the wall, and it says, of all this material that he had and all the stuff he sold, Elvis never wrote one song. And I just found that an incredible. I thought it's like going, man, you know, so they bought. So you have writers out there that would have existed.
Well, that's
So,
that's
you know.
90% of country music,
Right.
right? Now, I mean, even today.
Wow, you gave the number that low?
I think it's I think there are
Like
some.
99%.
Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot of country stuff that's getting written by,
Right.
you know.
But that was one of the, and another one I thought about was Elton John. But Elton John doesn't write the lyrics to his own.
Yeah,
tune.
but the
but
thing
he
about
writes
this
the music.
is
But
this
Bernie-
this guy wakes up and he knows all of these songs, so he doesn't
that's
need
true.
that writer.
That's true. No, I'm thinking too much
See,
because
you overthink it, man.
the whole
That's why
point.
we didn't.
This is why we love Dennis.
That's why we didn't get the rules ahead of time because we had
Because
changed.
you are right. Because the thing I like about the movie, and I'm going to ruin it for everybody who's not seen it.
I think you already did. You told the whole movie in the first everybody.
No.
all of the people.
And I thought it was a great twist, and you really have to think about it. I was telling somebody about it the other day, and they go, I didn't even think about that. But you know, at the end of the movie, there's like two other people that do remember the Beatles, so he doesn't think he's crazy. There's these other two people that come up to him, and he thought they were going to you know narc on him,
telling
and they're like, "Thank you for doing this because we remember him too, but it's not here. So thank you for bringing this music." And she gives him a piece of paper. It's got John Lennon's address on it, so he goes and visits John Lennon.
Which, by the way, was probably the coolest scene in the entire movie.
It was good.
Gave me goosebumps.
It did too.
Damn near brought me to tears.
But the whole point is the fact of that John Lennon was alive because the Beatles never existed.
Yeah.
Because he was, shot because of being famous and everything else. And if you think about it, George Harrison had cancer. He would have been dead no matter what. But I just thought that was a really cool twist to that movie, being because he was not a Beatle, he was still alive. So yeah, the movie is real. I thought it was going to be one of those where he would wake up at the end and been in a coma or something like that. But that movie was very well done.
That's the sequel.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I think it did leave it open a little bit for a sequel, but I don't know how they would do it because
because there's other things that were never invented.
Yeah, there could be some other stuff.
And that last
You
line.
call it Tomorrow, and you have Paul Stanley do it, and you do it tomorrow. If he was never in Kiss,
Maybe.
that would suck.
Because then we'd have steaming piss flaps and uncles that are rafts and
We'd have
parents
Hooligan.
named
We'd have
Stanley.
Hooligan and whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Beth.
I'm pretty impressed, dude. You put a lot of thought into that, which
Well, and I
scares
actually
me a little bit.
I really thought too much about it. There was another one that I was thinking about that you couldn't use because another one I thought about too, Barry Manilow.
Why can't you use Barry Manilow?
No, I would use it because look at the material.
Okay, so Prince. I
Oh,
know. So
I
so
never
Sonny
thought about
Pooney's sitting here, watching us and
making
helping
faces
us.
at us.
But the Prince is another one that if that music never, that is
Well,
some of that music is incredible.
Here's something on top of that. He wrote for
Yeah.
Sinead Easton. He wrote for the
Sinead
Bangles.
O'Connor. He wrote.
Sinead O'Connor. Yeah,
There's a ton of people.
there'd be a
that
ton of
never
people
had
that wouldn't have a career because
a ton
of
of
that.
music that would never have
Exactly.
existed. So that's I didn't.
So I never
think
even
about
thought
at the
about
time.
that. Prince would have been another good one for that. Interesting.
Well, this is a topic.
Yeah,
You could sit here.
If
for
we
days.
actually sat down and thought about it before we just did a show,
then that wouldn't be the show. though.
these would be some great topics. Yeah. So when we do yesterday's part 2,
We'll really think about
we do,
it.
we do this when we do this tomorrow. Which will be yesterday's part
And I'll
two.
stop making up a bunch of stupid rules too.
well, we never listen to your rules anyway.
That's right. So we got Sonny and Chris sitting in here. So I'm going to ask them.
Yeah.
If in the situation with yesterday, is there a band or somebody that you would come back as? And Sonny, who would that be? Daryl Hall.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Never thought about that.
Oh my God,
Absolutely.
Another good one.
yeah. The music. Oh my God, yeah. And he is a prolific
You wouldn't want to
writer.
be John Oates?
Oh my God. No, nobody. It's kind of funny. Nobody wants to be John Oates. That's exactly right. Nobody wants to be John Oates.
Mr. Oates doesn't want to be Mr.
I,
Oates.
say, I don't even think John Oates wants to be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to be.
You just need that elite mustache.
You can do that,
So
that
why would-
70s porn mustache.
Why did you pick John Oates? I mean, no, you didn't. Daryl Hall.
That whole
Right.
Philly soul, the great music, I like it that it's part pop, part R&B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said Philly soul, that it's part R&B and part soul. So it's that kind of drove in there.
And what
I
song
agree
would
with that.
you-
It's I don't get that the Daryl's House stuff. But when I was able to watch it, I always liked that because there was always, no matter what band he had on there or people, it always had that different kind of flair to it. It always had that different bluesy kind of thing.
But everybody wants to play Sarah Smiles, though.
Everybody wants to play Sarah Smile. Everybody.
Please,
It doesn't matter who you are.
Except my girl KT Tunstall. she tore her out of touch. They tore that shit up.
There you go. Yep. So, Chris, what do you got? If you had to pick somebody. Yeah. John Oates. You said John Oates.
There you go.
Absolutely, man.
Probably James Brown.
Oh, James.
Well, that's a
Yeah,
good
good
pick.
Oh, that's cool.
Nobody lived it up like he did.
Yep.
Right.
Massively talented too. Yeah.
Lots of great material.
And then he would fire anybody in his band that asked about getting
yeah.
paid.
Well, and I could go on high speed police.
Yeah, I was going to say. Man, this crack's really good.
And
I
the
like
good part is you could die on Christmas Day.
this.
What about you, Eric?
Elvis.
There.
So you weren't here. We talked about Elvis because we disqualified him.
Well, I did, but it's
No,
not.
Dennis disqualified him.
Dennis disqualified him because of the fact he didn't write any of his own music. But then we decided that when yesterday was here, when yesterday the movie was made, the guy didn't write any of the music anyway. So you're just remembering the other band. So
Right.
Elvis is okay because that was actually my second pick. So if we were gonna, because of the same thing, it's like he changed everything. None of this would be happening if it wouldn't have been for him and James Brown and some of those other people from back in the day. We've been sitting here having this conversation.
I made the mistake of really thinking about something in that.
which is shocking to all of us.
Went down the rabbit
In
hole.
this massive room filled with people.
Yeah.
There are 3 of them.
Yeah. Actually,
It's going wild.
but it's more intimate this way.
It is-
I'd say
it is
it
very-
is fun. Like I said, and we talked about this a little bit earlier. You know, this is our second time of 180 shows that we've been in the same room. Yeah, we've only done this once before. We did it on my couch.
Dennis's couch.
Yeah.
We did it on Dennis's couch. That sounds terrible.
That sounds bad.
And Bill was in the middle.
Okay, I think our time is up.
Yes, and on that note, our time is about up. So visit us on agesofrock.com and find our social media and all of that good stuff. And we will see you later.
Later.
See you.
Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.